beautiful collectors and action figure fans? It's the one and only optibotimus coming to you with another video review. And on today's episode, we're going to be taking a look at the new 3A 1/6 scale Autobot Squeeks from Transformers The Last Knight. For the packaging, this is the front of the box. This is the back of the box, where it doesn't really say anything, but the most important information is that it does require 2 AG13 button cell batteries that are not included. And then, much like all other 3A figures, it does have a bit of a kind of shoebox style package with the figure heavily protected by a lot of foam on the inside. But for the packaging on this guy, that is about it. So without further ado, let's get him out here and see how cool he actually is. And here we have him opened up and out of his packaging. And first, I'd like to bring attention to his instruction manual, which is just a piece of paper. But it basically shows you how to install the batteries. It's really very, very simple. How to exchange his hands. He does come with a grip tool hand as well as a normal pair of hands. The biggest difference that you're seeing is that the little handlebars are further out than when the grip tool ones are in there a little bit more, brought towards the actual handle, so it kind of holds his tools a little bit easier. Then on the back, it shows how to install his kickstand, how to put his leg on basically, and then how to arrange the different tools themselves on his actual backpack, which as you can see is right here. One other thing, you do have a little piece of paper right here that shows how to assemble the side mirror. I think that initially it wasn't separate, or maybe they forgot to put this on the instructions, but they give you this little extra piece of paper to show how to attach this little, poor Squeeks just can never ever get it together. But so here he is. As I said, I do have this pair of hands on here that are just open, and then like I talked about, these ones here are a little bit closer so that you can take one of these tools, and I'll take one off just like that, and you can see you can kind of wedge it in like that and have him hold it, I suppose. But this is his little tiny backpack, and then for the assembly of this, you come around here to the back of them, and you got these little posts on here that you'll just put on there just like that. Now I'm going to leave it off because I want to highlight the details and such on here. But one thing that I do want to talk about first and foremost is that you do get a total of 6 different tools, which is great. I really appreciate that. And then you can see you get these little rubber band type of things. They just wrap around here, and they're literally rubber. One of mine snapped, and it only snapped, and you can kind of, I don't know if you're going to be able to see it because it's so tiny, but it snapped because I feel like the material, I want it to focus on it. I feel like the rubbery material is, you can kind of see it there, like separating. It's not very good rubber, and it just ripped. I had it wrapped around here. I would venture to say, and you can kind of see like right here, it's already kind of starting to warp that material. Same thing, you can kind of see right there, it's starting to warp. You can see it big time, like right on there. Hopefully if I can catch the light and get it to focus. Maybe if I just zoom in on it, hold it a little bit further away. And yeah, you can kind of see the stress on that little rubber piece. So I don't imagine these are going to stand here very long. Now, ultimately, you don't need to have it on there because there are little pegs on the backpack itself that you slide these on. It just looks a little bit more realistic to have these straps go around here, which I do like. Taking a close look, though, you can see he has a little license plate thing on the inside. You can see it's got the logo for 3A. Overall, really nice paint detail. That's one thing that's amazing with the 3A pieces. Really good detail and accuracy put into it. So really very nice looking. This is plastic, but you can see with the paint variation, it does have a very nice wood look to it. And then the back here, this kind of looks like it's an old taillight or something. We'll take a look at that closer here in a bit. So setting that there, and here is Squeeks. And now for a size, this is a 6 scale figure, And using my little tape measure, what do we got? About 9, a little less than 9 inches tall. I'm gonna put this here and go there. And that puts them at, what, about 8.5 inches or so, and then wide and everything. So it's about 8.5 inches. As a 6 scale figure, I guess that's fairly close. It's not bad. He doesn't really scale with their other, what are called the premium scale, I think, figures such as Optimus, Bumblebee, Starscream. He's not meant to scale with those ones. Those are in a different scale, basically, but he's a 6 scale figure. I don't know if necessarily if I brought out like a 6 scale like Hot Toy figure, if it would scale right with it. Either way, I mean, he's cool looking. Now, you do have to, like I said, assemble this piece right down here. It's just a matter of pegging it in there. It is a little bit tricky to do. This piece is able to plug in here, but I don't do it. I just kind of wedge it up there because it's a little bit difficult to get that to tab in. And then this section right here actually folds down, and you can see that this is his exhaust pipe, and this gives a little bit of an extra kickstand to get him to balance at least on 3, because if you don't have that on there, he's not going to be able to stand at all. So you do need that. But looking at the detail, coming in to take a closer look, first looking at his head, which I think looks absolutely terrific. Now, he does have the helmet piece. It can remove. I do wish there was a way that you could permanently attach it to it, but as it is, it just sits there. So I guess you could kind of have it disheveled in a whole bunch of different ways. But you see that you have the 2 batteries in there. It does have a battery compartment, and I didn't put it back on there. But one thing I love is the light up effect. That is absolutely gorgeous. I mean, that is a gorgeous, again, turning it off and then turning it on. That's a gorgeous blue light. You can see how the light emanates from the centerpiece there, and then basically the outer section, I mean, when you look at it aside, you can see that there's nothing there. But you bring it around, it like reflects, which looks amazing and really does bring life to this. Quite impressed with how those turned out. I also really like how the lenses themselves are busted and cracked. That looks really very cool. Looking at the rest of the detail for his head, you can see his little mouth down here, which is on a ball joint, so you can move that around. This thing is loaded with different articulation points, and I'll go through that as much as possible here to show it. You got these little handlebars here, which also are articulated. You can move that around and express him. Looking at the side, all these different little gears around here and springs popping out, just dislodging from his head. Again, a little gear thing right here. Here's his little mirror section that you can swivel outward. This also has a little hinge and swivel. Absolutely spectacular looking. And then, oh, even his eyes are oh my gosh, I did not even... Is that accurate? I mean, are his eyes meant to do that? I think they are. They are. You can articulate his eyes. I mean, it's breathtaking. Breathtaking. Seriously. You look at the back, and again, you've got these different gears throughout here. This is a rubbery material, so again, I would be a little bit cautious of this over time. You don't really do anything with it. It's just there, but it is a softer rubber material. And then you can see the intricate detail on the various other parts. I mean, literally, Squeeks was found in the ruins of the Battle of Chicago, and Isabel was able to kind of put him together, get him living again. He can't transform at all, but he still was pretty functional in the movie. You come down here, I mean, you can see the wear in the tire, just overall really quite nice. And this is a nice rubber tire, so that's really cool. Great detail. I love the rust. All the gouges in him look tremendous. Everything on here is just absolutely gorgeous. You look at his helmet, and again, you have that nice, worn look on there with the different dings, the cracks, the rust look, the little section right here with the silver bit, but you can see rust kind of put on there if it focuses on it. So, I mean, even this, again, if it focuses, this has a tremendous amount of detail in it. And then, like I said, you just literally just plop it right there. So I do kind of wish there was something a little bit more permanent, or a magnet or something. Now, like I said, this piece right here, you just come around here and then you just find those little pegs in the post and you just line that in, and that completes the overall look for them. But the presence of this is really quite spectacular. I'm absolutely blown away by how great this guy looks. All of the 3A Transformer figures have an amazing amount of detail put into them, and this is no exception at all. The amount of detail here really is top notch. They nailed the overall look. I'm just trying to get an up close look here so that you can get a good thumbnail out of it. But really, I'm just blown away. The other part that is really quite impressive is the articulation. I'm going to leave this off right now. The head here is on two different ball joints. You got a lower ball joint and an upper one, so you can really articulate this guy any way you want. You can rotate it. He looks up and down very nicely. I showed you the articulation there. The eyes are even articulated, which I discovered just now. I mean, that's insane. The little mouthpiece here is on a ball joint, so you can kind of position this and get him like getting crazy looks with his face. Absolutely spectacular there. These little pieces on his shoulder are articulated. Again, ball joints there, so you can move those little pieces around. Both sides, yeah, both sides have that. The shoulders are on ball joints. The joints do get a little bit tight, so you do have to be careful, but you have a ball joint here for the shoulder. You have a hinge, and I want to say, well, the whole ball joint moves, and then you have a hinge there, and then this piece also rotates. I feel like I'm going to miss articulation points in this because there's so many. This elbow moves, and then for this, you just take this, slide this out, and then you would take this, and then I like taking the wire and just kind of tucking it up in there and put that there, and then you have a handle. Unfortunately, he doesn't come with any of those other weird like hand accessories or arm accessories or big giant cannons. This is a standard version. I know there is an exclusive one. I don't know what that came with, but that's all this comes with. You have two different ball joints here for the waist that allows you to articulate them and kind of position them, wiggle them side to side, rotate, all that kind of stuff. Trying to see what else. I know that the tire here has a hinge. Does this piece here, what does this do? I don't think that does anything. This piece does hinge in and out. This over here does also, but do be careful because this part does pop off. And I do find that to be a little bit tricky. I don't know how they could have done that differently other than have that permanently attached, but it does wedge in there, and then it does, like I said, have that hinge in and out, but playing with it will dislodge this, so be careful with that. And for me, I'm just going to leave it still. If I can get that pegged back in there. I almost want to glue that in place so it doesn't move around. I probably won't, but it's a little bit. This is an axe. Again, just random stuff that Izzy found to repair him and put them together. There we go. You do have that kickstand there in the back that you can hinge that around. Does this wiggle or anything? I don't think this does. I don't want to be overly ambitious with it, but lots of articulation in this. Like I said, I feel like I missed some. I don't think I did, to be honest. I think I got it all, but the amount of articulation in it really is spectacular, and it goes along with the overall look for the guy very, very nicely. It's a unique look for a Transformer. I know that, you know, the Michael Bay movies are not the favorite of people, but I enjoy them, honestly. And I did like Squeaks. He didn't talk other than say Chihuahua, but I thought he was cute and just kind of fun in a random kind of way, a random bot kind of way. And I'm happy to have him in my collection. For comparison, I'm going to pull this back. I know the deluxe one is up in my shelf. I'm not going to pull that out. But instead, I'll bring in the RC version of him. And obviously, he's got 2 legs here. But you can see, size-wise, they're not that different. He doesn't have this giant arm, obviously. He does still have the little handlebar type of thing, but you can see that there's a huge difference in the detail. Much more accurate, both in terms of paint, detail, movie accuracy, all of that. Just a much better overall representation of the character. I know that I just keep gushing, but I really am. I just keep looking at this and I keep seeing all the amazing detail. This started popping off. I feel like all of these are starting to get a little bit loosey-goosey from me playing with it. But the amazing amount of detail that 3A puts into their stuff really is amazing. I think that they do a top-notch job. In the world of 6-scale figures, there's a pretty good amount of competition nowadays, and you have to be able to step your game up. And in terms of what they did here with Squeaks, they nailed it. I really do feel that they nailed it with this guy. I'm just trying to kind of position him and get him kind of hanging out here. But really very fun, very, very cool. So if you were a fan, obviously, I would recommend this to you. If you're not, you're not going to be interested in it. But I did like it. I did like him. I really did. And I love having a very accurate representation of the character. He's going to look great next to my 3A Bumblebee, just because I think that they kind of look good together, you know, just in general. But there he is. So all that being said, if Autobot Squeeks is a figure that you'd like to add to your collection, he is available right now at Big Bad Toy Store. So all you have to do for that is click on the link down in the video description. You'll go to BBTS, where you can check out availability on this guy, as well as the rest of the wide range of 3A figures. But beyond that, guys, that's about it. Once again, if you like this video, I would really appreciate your support and letting me know by hitting that thumbs up button. It actually does go a long way towards helping me out, and I would really appreciate it. Also, if you're new here, welcome. And before you go, make sure you subscribe in case you haven't already subscribed. That way you'll get instant email notifications whenever I upload a new video, and you'll never miss out on a future review of mine. Or hey, if you're already subscribed, now more than ever it's important to make sure that you're getting those email notifications. We all know just how unreliable that YouTube subscription box is, and the best way to help support my channel and not miss any future reviews of mine is to click on that little bell right below this video and double check your settings to make sure that they're set so that you get those email notifications. And a very special thanks to you if you made it all the way to the end of this video. Another way that you can really help support my channel is making sure you watch a video all the way through. And if you did that, thank you. And finally, remember, the real trouble with the world is too many people grow up. Thank you for watching and taking the time to be a kid.